Well, the strike was the deadliest single U.S. attack on civilians in recent memory. The Pentagon says the incident remains under investigation, while the U.S. has not publicly accepted responsibility. Military experts and multiple independent investigations indicate U.S. forces carried out the strike in error because of outdated intelligence. The school was located next to an IRGC compound. A lot to talk about. Joining us now from London is Sanam Naraghi, an expert on peace and security, also the founder and executive director of International Civil Society Action Network. Sanam, welcome to the program. More than 5 months after this horrific attack, still no official answers. What kind of message does that send to the people of Iran, to Iranian parents who lost their children?
Thank you very much for having me. I think the message that it sends is that the United States and increasingly the world doesn't care about the lives of ordinary Iranians. Its children. It's very much a sort of a mirroring of what we've seen vis-a-vis the children in Gaza or the children in Yemen. And specifically with the U.S. in this case, because human rights was used as an excuse to go to war, it's doubly kind of offensive, if you want, because the idea was that we have to get rid of the regime because it's killing its own people, and then the first thing you do on the first day is using AI. You end up striking not only Minab, but the volleyball team outside of Isfahan, and then later on the Pasteur Institute, which is a health institute, and then the universities and so forth. And it's lots of civilian sites and civilians that are getting hurt and killed. So, the message is we don't care about Iranian lives.
So if a similar strike had hit a school in a Western capital here in the United States, do you think the public response, the global response would have been a lot different?
I mean, can you imagine? Again, if it in the United States, if it were an attack by an outside force, doesn't matter whether it's Mexico or Iran or elsewhere, of course, it would be a declaration of war similar to what we saw, the Israeli response to October 7th. Again, in the States, the tragedy, the true tragedy in the United States is that we have so many school shootings and the government doesn't do anything about them either. But if it were an outside force doing it, it would certainly be a declaration of war, as we saw with 9/11 back in 2001. So the fact that Iran should behave differently, or Iranians should behave differently, is we can't have double standards. The other thing I think it's important is that these are war crimes. Not only this is an illegal war, but the attack on civilian infrastructure and civilians are war crimes, and the fact that we don't have the international community actually stepping up is an indication that our entire system, over 100 years of international laws of war and humanitarian law and so forth, is being ripped and shredded by this generation of leaders.
And based on your experience, do you believe there will ultimately be some kind of accountability for what happened here in the United States?
I think, again, I give credit to the media organizations that have been doing the investigations, because we have so many very detailed reports now that document exactly what happened, that it was first a strike by it was an American missile, and then it was a double tap, as they call it, meaning people came to rescue the children and another missile was dropped deliberately. Again, very much similar to incidences that we saw in the case of Gaza. So the fact that the investigations are going on and the record is being kept, I think, is very, very important. And one of the other things is that we're constantly told that this is near an old IRGC site. Actually, it turns out that the school was next to a clinic. And this is, again, one of the things that international Western media organizations have shown. They've been there, they've seen it, and it just tells you that there is absolute abrogation of responsibility on the part of international actors, and that AI is being tested in warfare in Iran in real time without any real safeguarding around it.
And finally, Sanam, do you believe this tragedy has become a rare unifying moment for Iranians?
Yes, of course. The fact that it happened on the first day of the conflict is itself incredibly painful. and that it's so many little children that are the sort of targets of it. Again, we see basically old men at war with each other. One of them is gone. They assassinated him on the first day. He should have been arrested and taken to court if we're really serious about trying to do things properly. But again, it was the old man fighting, and it's the young children that are paying the price. The future is being killed, literally and metaphorically.
All right, Sanam, thank you so much. We'll have to leave it there.